Right now, though, let's concentrate on getting your first site up and running as fast as possible. Press the fourth icon down, the monitor icon, to enter the mobile and desktop sites module. It is where the majority of your work will concentrate. Your site should look much like this in the beginning. The site list is empty, and the warning bar below will show you are allowed to make one site maximum. Below the black bar, identify the green plus and create a new site button. Or find the same button on the bottom center. When pressed, a new page will appear with the site you have just created. A confirmation message shows asking whether you want to build the site with a wizard by selecting a template. This plan, as stated earlier, has no templates included, since this is a learning exercise and it's to familiarize how to work with the system you own. If you do click OK now, a blank page appears. This is where you would find templates should they be included in a plan that you have in the future. For the present, we'll go back. And once again, create a new site. And instead, the plan is stated, if you do click OK, blank page appears. Press the back button. If you do click OK now, a blank page appears. Press the back button to get back to the My Sites page. You'll see nothing has changed. Try it once more, and instead click on the Click Here button. The Click Here button. I have found that the site is built from pressing the Click, not the Here button, and once fired, the system creates your new site. This is the page where you will spend the most time, creating and configuring almost every aspect of your new site. This new site defaults to the options menu about a third of the way down the page. It is on the line with Pages, Options, E-commerce, and Style. The third menu item, e-commerce, is not activated for this site. If you are interested in the capabilities of the e-commerce platform for your needs, e-commerce is available for everyone who starts with the MAPP starter plan and above. As mentioned, the site starts by moving to the options menu where you can see actual URL of this site. This site is live right now, so it can be seen by anyone who has this link. In this case, it is core3.mk5.co/m/ and then a number. But yours will be somewhat different. If you copy and paste it into a browser on a split screen or second monitor, you could watch all the changes you make displayed in real time with very little lag time. You can also copy or paste the URL onto the browser of your mobile phone to see it build there as well. If you wait a few minutes, we will be loading the site on a phone in real time with generated QR code as well. The first task is to name the website. You can do this two places: at the top of the page where it shows the site ID $51461, or further down where the same site is shown under site name. It is also on this site where you can identify your site with a vanity domain you purchase independently in the long form field just below the core URL. First, though, we rename the site. In this case, I will call it Stroller Card. When we press and save and update, both sites change name. So does the name of the site on your desktop. Stroller cart is now at the top. Also found in the options menu are the header and footer sections. For the moment, we will move on to the header with the header and work only with it. I want the search form on my card, and I want to be able to pass my business card to others directly with a QR code as well. I set the show and search form to on and the show QR code to on and yes as well. Then save and update to see the changes. Click on the section bar to open or close it, such as this way or this way. In this case, I will open the social links in the header to allow me to send people to my Facebook page and any other social media links you have as well. I've already added it to it, so it's there. Now to save it, you save and update. The last section in this page is worth a few words. The custom code in the head section. I don't use this much since I'm truly hopeless at generating code to control the website in a more traditional way. I don't use code often, and I certainly do not manufacture it myself. The only time I will use code is when a snippet is given to me to solve a problem with the formatting, or for some other reason that's exotic on the site. Now on to the page part of the site. It has all pages, home, icon bars, sidebars. I don't use those. What I do want is the home under pages. And now we're at the widgets. We finally come into contact with the power of the system, the widgets. Most of the heavy lifting occurs under the pages section, the first menu item. I need to work on the actual page of this website, so I click the home text link. Here. I selected an empty page when I started the site, but I could have had the system generate a few default widgets for me. I prefer to pick and choose the widgets I use on a particular page when I'm actually working on the page. Click Home and open the page further. Here we are. If you look at the dummy phone to the right, you'll see that the word Homepage is in the upper left-hand corner. I always call the first page home, and I want this site to respond the same way. To change that, look at the headers and titles section. By default, the menu title on a new site is home. The default on the header title is home page. Let's change that to home and save the page. Save and update. Note the change in real time on the dummy phone to the home right away. If you have the site open on a second, hopefully an incognito browser window, you will see a change on the internet as well. To the right is the menu bar. If you click on the QR code, you can load the site into your phone directly from the camera. You might want to ensure your phone is able to capture the site automatically. Otherwise, you might need an app from one of the app stores to read and execute QR codes to your phone. Simply use the camera, pointed at it. Hopefully there'll be a yellow, on my phone it's yellow, that tells me the actual website that it's going to be clicking to. Press that and go directly to the site. You're live there. Now, to define the first widgets for the site. In this case, we will select 3 widgets to start with: the header widget, the buttons widget, and the content block widget. Add them in any order you like, since all you need to do to reorder them is to point, click, and drag the widget into a desired position. All you need to do is click the black plus Add a Widget. This brings you to a page with a set of widgets available. Any widgets that are not available for this site are grayed out. Select the header widget, then the buttons widget, finally the content block widget. The site works from top to bottom. So the higher the widget is placed in the list, the sooner it fires. This is important to understand since many cases where the formatting seems wrong, reordering the widgets makes them show in a different order, often eliminating the formatting error without any other actions being required. Once the changes are saved, we will next configure a widget. Once the changes are saved, next we will configure a widget. To access the widget, simply click on its name on the left of the bar or the pencil edit icon on the right. Here or here. We'll start with the header. I'm not going to add any graphics in the header image or favicon at the moment for this site, but I do want to have the menu and other header parts always displayed to the phone user. To accomplish this, we need to set the header menu and links section. The header refers to the top of the website page. This can occupy a very large footprint or much smaller depending on your choice of settings under header height. Many people use full pictures for their header, and often it uses up all the space above the fold, which is a reference to the old-style newspapers that ran their main stories on the top half of the newspaper when it is displayed folded in a stack. I prefer to make the header as small as I can on the mobile phone, so change this heading on the header height on mobile to 25% from same as desktop for the header height on mobile. Save and update. We need to create the background for the home page's header. To do this, go to the field in the Manage Background section under Style. You can select a number of different types of shapes for the background for the header. I selected a solid color, and then move to the square swatch of 00F. If you have a picture you would rather use as the header, select images and use the full screen image box that pops up to browse to the image you want to use. This is important, so take a few minutes to play with the various options and see what they do when you press the save and update, either above the phone or at the bottom of the form. Move down the form until you see the section called Main Contents. Here we can give the header some text. Since I'm making a small business card to promote this product, I will enter its name, MobileFirst-Personal. I will add my name under the subtitle field. Before I move on though, I want to start to personalize the vCard with a font type and color that works with the background. You'll see the default color is black, and it does not work very well with the blue background color I chose. we want to customize that text. Most often the size of the text is fine, right here, this size. Usually the default can be left as it is, but the font is not what I like personally. What font you choose is up to you, but I like Righteous, so I will select that for both fields. Next, we want to deal with the alignment of the text. I prefer centered for my phone, so I select that for both of the fields as well. Finally, we have control over the color of our fonts. In my case, I tend to stay within the color palette of blue and gold, or yellow. Click into the color wheel box to the right of the field and select the color you prefer. For the sake of this example, I will continue with one of the yellows. To see what's been accomplished, I save and update. I encourage you to experiment with the colors and fonts available for your page. When I first purchased this system and started to work with it, the CEO, Scotty Carter, stated that the best way to learn this is to play with it. It is very difficult, if not impossible, to break the system. I admit, I've tried and never been able to do anything worse than user errors. The system is rock solid. Experimentation with the various parts of the construction platform are suggested to you to get your feet wet with the system and begin to understand its simple power. I like to add logos and such to the headers. So moving down the form to the images and videos section, you can add an image there. Some pointers on this. First, and most important, only ever use a graphic which you own or know you have the full rights to use. Never simply bootleg a graphic from other places such as Google or some of the other search engines or any other website. If you're going to use others' graphics, make sure you see that they have Creative Commons rights that allow the graphic to be used for the purpose you wish. Many public domain photos that are okay for use on an individual site are decidedly not okay when used in a commercial venue, such as in a store or other selling type site. A business card is right in the gray area, so make sure you are totally legal with all the graphics you use. There are 3 ways to use the image edition area. The first way is to simply browse. This allows you to use graphics you have stored on your personal hard drives or possibly cloud servers, assuming you have access to them from your computer's file manager. The second method is to use the graphics that are included with the system. These are royalty-free images that are available to use as you require. Should you use one of these, there are no problems with getting in trouble for copyright infringement since they are already royalty-free and ready to use with this system. Once you have used a graphic, it often is placed into the My Media library. If you have used the same graphic previously, such as a logo, often the file will be available for fast adding from My Media library. So, we browse first, and we go to a place where we can find the important thing to understand about this is whenever you add a site or add a graphic, you must upload it, and the system will not go anywhere forward. It'll give you error messages if you forget to upload. So we upload, it goes uploads, and then it's done, and you can save and update and see the results. In my case, I'm going to add a logo to my site that will naturally sit above the text of my header. You can choose the number of photos at the same time before you upload the files to your site. If you add more than one graphic, the slider feature comes into effect automatically. If you want to have more granular control over the slider, you can experiment with slider transitions and increase or decrease the slider interval in seconds. If I want to If you have a video you want to insert as your header background, you can get a direct link from your file server and insert it into ... or video URL. You can insert a number of different video formats, but always be aware that you need to have proper rights to show videos on your site. You can see that you can change the slider interval from 5 to 2 to whatever you want. Save it and it will go faster. In my case, I don't want these extra ones, so I'm going to remove them. Take it, that eliminates it, that eliminates it, and it leaves me now with just my logo. And that finishes it for the header section.